Alright, John, welcome to Ellough Park. It is the latest round of Club 100, and we're coming into this one in fourth in the standings. And we are starting off this first heat in third place. Now, coming into this heat, it was the same kind of overly grippy tarmac as last season, which I didn't really get along with. So I was sort of expecting to have a bit of damage limitation here, but we will give it our best go as we have a good rolling start there and straight up into P2 off the line. And we're following, I believe it's Rana Menon, into the first corner. He takes a chunk of curb, gets sideways, and we are straight into the lead by the time we get to turn 2. Now, we have got Harrison Kirkham in this race, which is typically quite good around here. So I knew I had to nail it, and I did actually take a bit too much curb at that corner there. So I knew I was going to be on the back foot here, and Harrison was already having a look down the inside, and I tried to hold it there, but I was sort of faced with the barrier, so I slid back in. I thought, you know what, I'll try and follow him for a bit and see if I can improve on my style. And I noticed there he was chucking it into that last corner and using absolutely all of the track, which you were allowed to do on this day, so I copied him. But moving on a few laps, I've actually managed to stay with him here, which I was expecting him to just drive away. And as you can see here, the car I had was quite good coming off the corners and in the mid-range. So I've actually caught back up to the back of him, and now I'm in a situation where I didn't really envision at the start of this race, where I'm actually attacking him for the lead. Now, I missed the curb there, so he got a bit of a gap. We're coming into this corner, he takes a massive chunk of curb, completely bogs down, and now I'm right on the back of him, and suddenly we've got a fight for the lead, which I really didn't expect this at the start of this race. And he goes defensive there. That was probably my best opportunity so far. And I've got the switch back, and we're going to get the run down the straight, and we already know our car's better than his, so we pull to the outside. We're side by side into the first corner, but he defends well. We can't really get around the outside there, and we slot back in. But look at how much we're gaining on him down the straights. We definitely have a better car than him. But again, I'm sort of sitting here thinking, if I get past him, he's more confident in the condition of this circuit, so I'll just be vulnerable straight away. I wasn't confident that I was going to be able to pull away from him, so following him was probably going to be more beneficial to me in the long run. However, it does seem like we are faster in this race, so we was planning to sit behind him and then try and get him right at the end, but that was the one place where he was always better than me coming out of that last corner there. But he's switching on a bit now. We are right on the back of him, but again, we just can't seem to get a run in the correct places. And look how much he's gained on me out there. It's absolutely insane, and that has pretty much taken us out of contention going on to the final lap here. But we did seem to be better than him through that first corner, and as I mentioned earlier, down that straight we gained a little bit there too. So we're thinking maybe we can have a chance on this final lap, and he got a bit sideways on the brakes there, but we run a bit deep, and that corner you were allowed to use all of the added on curb. So even though I went miles out of the white line, it was still legal. But yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get an opportunity here, as we've only got 2 more corners to go on the final lap, which will take second, but realistically we had a better car than him, and on another day I probably shouldn't have beaten him on this particular race, but we have finished second, and it's not too bad of a start to the day, and I was quite happy with my pace, considering I was expecting Harrison to just disappear into the distance. So I gave him the thumbs up, and we're on to the next one, which he's also starting in front of me. We are 9th in this one. We've got Mike Philippou starting next to us. He's a pretty good driver, so we'll be watching out for him. Sam Lovelace just in front of Harrison there. Excuse me. And we are away, and the outside actually got a better launch there, so we lost a couple, I think, but we're going to get them all back as there's a bit of loading through turn 1, and we have gained a couple more, and Harrison's on the inside, Sam's stuck on the outside. Harrison somehow gets to the inside of another person there, and we're sort of like pushed wide, and we actually end up booting Sam off the track, but there was nothing really we could do because we were getting pushed from behind. And in all that melee we have actually gained up to 5th position, so a bit of a crazy start, but we'll definitely take it. And I think we're behind Michael Reeder now, looking to see if we can get any further forward. Bryn Albin leading the race, but we can't quite get the run on Michael Reeder going into the last corner, as Harrison Kirkham is up in 2nd there, and again losing a bit of time coming out of that last corner, just could never get it right. It was better to just hook a wheel on the curb through turn 1 there, I found. And the guy in front there going very defensive, not sure who that is unfortunately, but Reeder's going to try and get past him, and he's looking behind, he's on the defence constantly here. And this is the thing with sometimes people, you know, there's quite a range of ability in the class 2 class, so when they start up the front, as I've got to go defensive from somebody there, as Reeder goes for a move and is passed. But yeah, when they see 2 guys who aren't normally at the front start there, they have to defend to try and keep a good position, and I've made a stupid error there trying to get the cut back, and I've just let Philippou follow this guy up the inside, and then he's just straight away overtaking him, so that's just made me look like I've got no idea what I'm doing. But the white helmet guy's just chucked it back down the inside of Philippou. He's definitely fighting for his life here, and I've managed to slot back through as well. But yeah, as I was saying, it's sort of like frustrating on one sense as Philippou passes me again. I think he was still alongside me the whole time, to be fair, but it's frustrating in one sense because they're just holding us back, but in the same position, if they were, you know, not confident they were going to get any further, then why wouldn't you defend for 3rd place? But it is making us lose touch to the leaders at the moment, and I'm going to have to try and help Mike Philippou get through it again there. So we're really struggling to get the front end in round there again, understeer just like it was last year, and Philippou's chucked it back down the inside now and got past the white helmet driver. Is it Isaiah Aguegu, maybe? I'm not sure, I'll have to check that one. But we are behind him now anyway, and he's looking behind, he's going defensive again, and I've got to think of a way through here. He gets slightly sideways on the apex there and leaves a tiny gap, and I know I've not got many opportunities, so I've just chucked it down the inside, squeezed him right to the exit and got past, and I knew I had to be aggressive there. But unfortunately my camera cut off there, which was really annoying because I had a great battle with Nick Lacasas at the end of that race, but I did end up finishing in 5th place. So sorry to Nick, because I did enjoy that battle with you, but the camera had a few issues in that one. Anyway, moving on to Heat 3, starting 9th again, behind Tommy Lee here. Try and get another good start. Bryn Albin on the outside, he was worried about getting hung out to dry before the race, and that's pretty much what he's done, or that's what's happened to him anyway. I believe he's still on my outside now, but he's never going to get in there. Somebody's loaded us from behind there, and Tommy Lee's gone flying, and he's put his hand up in the air, and I'm not really sure what happened there. Andrew Ravage is sideways into the hairpin, and now there's a bit more contact as everyone's getting really close together, but still single file at the moment as this guy in front goes defensive, and I run a little bit wide, but going defensive now just to make sure no one can go through, and there's more overtaking going on in front, and we're now going to see if we can get past Ravage, and he's just hit him at the wrong point of the corner there so that we can't get him, and Ravage is having a look, and he's gone for a centre, he's locked up the rears and caught at the back of the guy in front, and they've both gone off, and that's an easy way up into P6 for me. So unfortunate for them, but I will capitalise on that one. But now there is a bit of a big gap to the next group, which, as I mentioned, I was a little bit lacking on pace on this circuit, so it was going to be difficult to close him down. But we are catching this driver with the white helmet. It might be Oliver Price. I'm not 100% with all the names. As I mentioned, there's a lot of new drivers this season, so I'll try my best. But anyway, we are catching up to the driver in front. There's a penalty going out for somebody there, but it's not us, so it doesn't matter. And the white helmet driver gets very sideways through the apex of turn 1, and we are going to get the run and go past him into P5. As we skip along a bit now, we haven't really made any progress on the guys in front, which I kind of expected, but we are going to see what we can do. But Dave Cottrell was actually overtaking us there, and I was checking behind me every so often in this race, and I saw him catching, so I sort of knew that he was a fairly quick driver, Dave. So if he was more confident than me in these circuit conditions, then I was happy to follow him and try and catch up to the next group, because I knew I wasn't going to do it on my own. So I didn't put up a fight against him there, and as I mentioned, I'm happy to work with him. And I think, to be fair, he is making the gap halved already. It's also helped by the fact the guys in front are battling a little bit, but we are staying in this slipstream here, and it is pulling us along. So not too much longer left in this race, but is this strategy going to work for us here? Dave even using a beautiful bit of curve there, and he nailed that first corner, I must say. And we are catching up to the back of the guys in front now. This is the battle for third that we're watching in front of us. We are just losing the back of Dave Cottrell a little bit, but it's not going to matter too much because they are battling, and we are going to arrive on the back of them, hopefully. And we're just waiting for something to happen now, hoping that we can capitalise. As Dave's having a quick look, and he is going to go for the inside into the hairpin there and get through on the white helmet driver, but we can't quite follow him. We weren't close enough, so now we're waiting for Dave to make a move on the black helmet driver in third, see if that pushes them back into us again. But yeah, you can just see we're losing on the exit of the corners. It's just with this extra grippy tarmac, it just makes the car bog down so much, because you're trying to turn to get the front in and it wants to understeer because there's too much grip, and then it just won't release off the corners, and that just really doesn't suit my driving style, to be honest. I've always been one that sort of flicks the car in and then is smooth in the middle of the corner. But anyway, as I've been waffling on about excuses why I'm not at the front, we are now on the back of the battle that Dave has just created, as he is down the inside of the black helmet driver, and I've just caught the back of the guy in front on the exit of the corner, so it's killed my run. But we are now back in formation, so I'm not sure if there's any more opportunities for us here. We are sitting in 6th, and it's not looking like it's going to be a great result, but it is getting towards the end of the race now, so I'll be taking any opportunity I get. Did make a bit of a mess of that corner there as Dave hits one of the cones, but that'll be just a warning for him, as I think it was his first offence on that one. So we carry on, and I'm getting close to this white helmet driver, and we need to get a good run off this corner to have a chance of overtaking, and we are going to do that. And he's opened it up, and the black helmet driver actually only did a half defensive move. So I sort of threw up the inside, accidentally got both of them, and now I'm trying to hold it around the outside, and he's giving me space, to be fair, so we are going to actually pick both of them off there. And I actually lifted going over the line there because I thought it was the end of the race, but turned out it was the final lap, so apologies if that ruined anyone's race behind. But it didn't affect mine. I'm going to finish 4th, which isn't an amazing result, but to be fair, I definitely made the most of the situation, I feel. So I've had a 2nd, a 5th and a 4th, which, to be fair, isn't too bad considering I'm not that comfortable around this track. And we are going to start 8th for the A final, and let's see if we can have a good start. Obviously on the outside is never where you want to be, but we'll try and slot in as much as we can. We've got Greg Smith in front of us. Yusuf the GOAT is on pole position, and we've actually had a terrible launch there. I'm not really sure what I was doing there, but it does mean we've got some space to throw it around the outside at full force. Dante Dillon almost getting into the tyre wall on the exit of turn 1 there. That almost got a bit hairy. And the 3 wide into this corner, McWilliam on the inside, and I've tried to cut back on Dante, just caught the back of Greg Smith, so that's ruined my run. McWilliam has got the inside into the hairpin now, and Dante's still there on me. Greg's had to run around the outside of the tyre wall, so he's on the outside still, 3 wide into this fast left-hander, and I've managed to tug underneath 2 of them. I follow Dante through into P7, so a bit of a topsy-turvy first lap there, but we have actually gained a position, and now we're on the back of Dante, who's had a look at Harrison Kirkham, and Harrison's thought, forget that, I'm going on the inside of Ed Bars, who's still on the inside of him, and I've tried to capitalise and go down the inside of Dante, but there just wasn't enough room there for me to follow, and a frantic first lap ends in me in P7. And skipping later on in the race, to be honest, not much was happening for me there. As I mentioned before, I wasn't very quick around here, but there's a bit of action now as Lewis Marchant has caught the tyre wall on the exit there and pushed it back, and therefore lost a bit of momentum. So we are back in the conversation for P5 now, and he'll be getting a warning for that one, that's for sure, as he's trying to shoo Dante off for a move, but Dante has gone for it anyway and gets into 5th. Now we can see Lewis Marchant in front. These guys were all massively in the distance before, so the race has got a bit more exciting for us now, but I don't think we're going to have the pace, even though we're within a kart length, and actually we've gained on him there, but we'll just clip the back of him so he gets the momentum back. But we will try if we have any opportunity, but yeah, it's not looking like we have too much pace here. Again, getting away out of that corner, and we are going to drop back a few laps later. And now we are actually going to lose a position here, and Greg Smith blocks the apex off and does a good move. And he was on fire around this track, to be fair. I'm not sure if this is his home track or not, but it's definitely one of his favourites, so I remember him mentioning. So yeah, he's quick round here, and he's overtaken me for P7. So I'm trying to do as much damage limitation as possible, knowing that I wasn't going to be too quick here. But P8 it is for now in the A final. And Greg is now looking behind a lot, so he's clearly not intent on going much further forward, and he's more bothered about keeping his P7 that he's taken off us. There is a P4 just a few carts up the road. Harrison, I think it's in 4th, and they're in view, but the way the race has gone, it's just very stretched out now. I don't think we're going to make any inroads on that, and we are going to see if there's any opportunity to get Greg here. And I actually locked up a little bit there and clipped the back of him, but I was never going to overtake him from that. That would have been unfair, so I stayed behind. And now coming out of the last corner, we're on the final lap, and that little contact we had with him there has lost a bit of momentum, so I don't think we're going to have a chance at him, to be honest. And we are going to come home in P8, which again is a top 10 finish at a track that I'm not very good at. Like, hands up in the air, I don't get along with the track surface here, so I will take the points, but yeah, I'm looking for a bit higher up than that in general. But coming through the last few corners, Greg does go a little bit deep there, and we're actually on the back of him, and he's going defensive. Of course, it's the last lap, and I tried to get cut back and completely botched that. I just ran too deep and then never got the traction, and yeah, that just summed up the day really. Not taking, well, actually I did take a few opportunities. I think, as I say, P8 on a track that I wasn't that good at. Not too bad really, but yeah, 4/10 off the pace there. It's not what we're looking for, but we'll take the points, and we will move on to the next round, which is going to be Clay Pigeon, which I've always got along with that one. We've sort of had a weird season so far. Like Bookmore, I was feeling very confident, but then they changed the surface of the track and it rained, which sort of threw the characteristics of it out the window. And GYG, I've never been very good around that. And then here, the tarmac is affecting the driving style again, but we are still 5th in the championship, only 34 points off the lead, and we actually gained 1 point on the championship leader this race, because Sam Lovelace was leading the championship but then had a bit of a stinky heat which put him down the field for the A final. So despite all of our woes, we are still in the conversation, so it can only get better from here surely. But we will see what the future holds in the next round at Clay Pigeon. Thanks for watching here, guys, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.